What a week in the world of business. Microsoft has agreed to pay more than $7 billion for Nokia's cell phone business, and Verizon Communications has made the third largest acquisition in corporate history. But is this really good business, or does it stifle competition?
So I believe today marks a day of reinvention for Nokia. With our strong corporate identity and our new financial strength, the Nokia team will build our next chapter.
Microsoft buys Nokia's headset for $7.2 billion. That's a game changer in today's cell phone industry. So we got a chance to chat with Courtney Escoffrey, tech blogger from The Manly Man, to give us the skinny on what this all means.
We'll expect to see tighter integration between Microsoft's Windows Phone and Nokia's hardware, because it's now Microsoft's hardware.
From paper to mobile devices, the Finnish company has been around for 150 years. They've worked with Microsoft for the past 2.5 years.
One of the things that Nokia has to offer is their design aesthetic. I think they arguably rival Apple.
Now this new merger can lead to exciting new changes for the consumer.
It's going to be interesting to see what Microsoft does in terms of mobile gaming. That's because of what they're doing with Xbox.
Nokia CEO Stephen Elop will rejoin Microsoft once the transaction is complete next year. And there are talks he may be a future successor for Microsoft CEO Stephen Ballmer. Nokia is the third leading cell phone manufacturer after Apple and Samsung. On the streets, we wondered, what kind of cell phone do you have?
iPhone,
BlackBerry.
I have an iPhone 4.
iPhone,
Samsung Galaxy.
Nokia was once the leading cell phone maker in 2007, holding 40% of the market. Now, according to Reuters, they hold 14%. So this new alliance with Microsoft might mean a change in Nokia's future. This is Kat Sandoval reporting from Manhattan, New York for Every News.
And to talk more about these multi-billion-dollar deals, we've got Dee Dee and we've got Jackie back. We also are joined by Paul Oster, and he is with Better Qualified. And you're going to give us a little bit of the lowdown of some of these big deals, because I'm going to tell you something. I am not really a business person. You know, I'm like $130 billion. I'm like, geez. Okay. I guess one of the big things with that particular acquisition is that they're going to get the funding. But talk to me about whether or not some of these are actually a sign of that the economy is moving forward, Paul.
It is. Right now, the current business environment is perfect for mergers and acquisitions. All-time low interest rates, corporate balance sheets are flush with cash, and really a relatively low opportunity for organic growth within those industries, especially the wireless industry. So these companies coming together is a sign of the times, both good and bad. You know, those are the best of times, those are the worst of times. And I think that's really what we're seeing here.
Well, I want to talk about how the American people feel, because, you know, you talk to some people on the streets and they still don't feel 100% about the economy. Dee Dee, Jackie, I want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem like to me. I don't know a lot of people that think the economy is doing very well. Maybe big businesses
perhaps you
are.
should look at the papers. They seem to be saying the economy is rising.
Well, let's let Dee Dee finish.
Okay, well, we know what you think. but I will say that with Microsoft and Nokia, a very good deal, because Microsoft, I mean, they have been stagnant. I mean, they do well, a lot of money, but it's PCs. That's changing because people go to their phones and they've got tablets. They're not using PCs anymore, so they need to get into this business with Nokia, and it makes perfect sense.
But I don't think it should be Nokia, because, you know, they've been struggling in the mobile industry.
Isn't that a life? That's what, you know, both are struggling. So if they come together, it seems like to me it makes sense.
Maybe.
You're the business expert, but
I'm very skeptical. You know, if you ask me, it was a marriage made in hell. They didn't play well in the sandbox when they were.
Oh, Nokia?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying it's a company that's difficult to deal with.
It is. I mean, they withheld secrets. They were not very forthcoming with announcements that then caused Microsoft to come late to the game with products and services that really weren't game changers. So for them to come together now, and some people honestly feel that it's just a way to get Stephen Elop, who is now the CEO of Nokia, who is an ex-Microsoft executive, to replace Ballmer. And
Well, that
do we
sounds like
really
a-
want?
well,
Do we
that-
really?
yeah, there could be
But,
a story
you know,
behind
Well,
the
we got a
story.
little soap opera going on that one.
Definitely.
Oh, it's huge.
In theory, it sounds good, but what you're saying is right.
If the theory proves out true, which it might, he's certainly the leading candidate. It's probably the most expensive recruiting endeavor ever, because to get him to buy Nokia just to get ELOP doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's a
to
lot
me.
of money to recruit a new guy on top.
Well, let's talk about some. Well, I know you wanted to. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Jackie.
Oh, no.
But you were talking about the economy and how you feel a little different than Dee Dee's. No surprise there. But let me hear your thoughts on how you
Sure.
feel about the economy.
Well, sure, the housing market is going up. We've talked about my house before. I'm waiting till next year to sell it because the housing market is increasing. Unemployment is down. Yeah, little by little. I'm sorry, but your man Obama is making our economy
Oh
better.
yeah, well when you're so far deep in
Was
the
that-
abyss,
was
you
the-
go up just a little
let's
bit, woo,
not
that's something to
talk
celebrate.
About politics, please. No, the economy is improving. You know what I think about the electronics market is that people are always looking for what's the new thing, what's got the latest bells, what's
Absolutely.
got the whistles, and whoever gets a leap up on that is going to be leading the market.
Well, Paul, let's talk about that $130 billion deal also with Verizon. Second largest deal in history. It's actually bigger than Exxon's merger with Mobile. I mean,
Well,
it's an amazing.
That's a funny one, because what you have here is nothing more than these companies coming full circle. If you go back to 1999, that's where Verizon started. Vodafone had acquired AirTouch Communications, which was then the largest player in the mobile field. And you think about 1999, it was a very small field at that point. After that, shortly thereafter, Vodafone agrees to combine its mobile assets with Bell Atlantic, if you remember Bell Atlantic, of course. Shortly thereafter, Bell Atlantic merges with GTE, the General Telephone and Electronics Corporation, and that's what formed Verizon. So now Verizon is doing nothing more than buying back its own shares from Vodafone. They'll now be have complete ownership of their stocks and company. It's a good deal for Vodafone for sure. They're getting back 23% of their Vodafone Italia, and it's a cash influx that they are in desperate
That was
need
amazing. That was a cash deal. It's like that's a lot of cash.
It's stock and cash, and here's why it's very attractive to Vodafone. They're going to hold on to the cash part of it, and they're going to redistribute the shares that they're getting from Verizon to their investors. So they're not going to pay out any of the cash. They're going to hold on to it and use it to shore up their finances, because quite frankly, with what's happened in the Eurozone, Vodafone has been struggling, because we all know what's going on in the European debt crisis. So.
Well, I was just going to say, a lot of the U.S. companies are buying some of these European companies as well. Overall, are these profitable acquisitions for U.S. companies?
They are. Over the past year or so, Europe's been for sale. Europe for sale is the
Interesting, yeah.
talk in the mergers and acquisitions, and twofold. American companies are buying into these European companies right now because it's too good to pass up. And you have European companies saying, we want to diversify and get out of the European market a little bit, and they're buying into American companies.
Yeah, this seems like a win-win, because it's not like it's competition. A lot of times, like with the airlines, whenever they merge, they monopolize and then the prices go up for us. It seems like with this, that'd be good for the consumer as well as for the company.
But, look.
Well, Paul, could you answer that?
Yes. Statistically speaking, there was just a professor at the University of Southern California who studied 3,500 plus mergers and acquisitions. And what they found was it's always best to create strategic alliances as opposed to cannibalization. The companies fare much better moving forward if it's a true merger and strategic alliance as opposed to one company gobbling up the other. That's when the consumer benefits is when it's done that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we certainly are hoping that the consumer is going to benefit on all these mergers right now. Jackie?
Well, I see a negative to this too, and let's discuss this. If Europe is for sale, that means American companies are coming over and taking over the European companies.
Yep.
There goes their culture. I mean, right now there's only 6 major corporations that are running. No, but there's
You're right.
6 major corporations that own all of the media. And you can travel anywhere. You can go to Damascus, you can go to the sub-Sahara region, And people want to know, they want to dress like Americans, they want to talk like Americans, they want to hear American music. I think this is the bad thing about American companies becoming so large that they're taking over or having nice relationships.
That's a good thing. Hey, I think, it's good for us to be #1 and have most of the companies, and everyone enjoys our culture because we're #1. We're the best, right?
And as soon as we were down, look at one of the other largest deals that are on the table right now is you have this Chinese company that's going to buy Smithfield Foods. That's the largest pork producer in the United States, and it's caused a tremendous backlash. Are we really sure we want to go down that road? Because we're going to lose some culture within Smithfield Foods when it becomes a Chinese-owned company. There's no doubt about it.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time, but I will share one last little note. Nokia was founded 150 years ago, little tiny town in Finland. They said that all of Finland is crying this week because of this merger. So just an interesting little note about
they're losing one of their oldest.
Absolutely.
Poor little Finns.
Listen, it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Remember September 11th, do something good that day, and remember all the folks that perished that day as well. That's all we have time for on Fresh Outlook. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mia Toski. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you back here on Fresh Outlook next week.